our ports remain our important national assets, and we must manage to improve trade to the benefit of all. Our government has introduced reforms at the port to improve efficiency. So we started by looking at the processes at the port. We all know about the stories of the corruption that goes on at the ports and how much we lose in terms of revenue at the port. So we thought we should bring in less human interface at the port, and this is the background to the paperless system, so that you can clear your goods within 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, and pay and so on. So we introduced a risk engine which assigns risk levels to different importers and containers, red, yellow, or green. The number of agencies that was required to inspect containers was reduced from 17 to 3. We had 17 different agencies that had to inspect, and you know what that means. The long room in the port was abolished because it was really a very long room, and it was not needed. And I must say that the fight to reform the port, where the government lost a lot of revenue, was not an easy one because there were a lot of entrenched interests, and it's still an ongoing fight. Because you are taking away the way people used to make a living, through corruption. And you're taking that away, and there was a lot of pushback. But we've stayed the course. There are other things that we are doing. From the end of this month, we are introducing what we call no duty, no exit. Last week, I'm sure some of you heard about some containers that were missing at the port. Some people were arrested at the port because they had taken out quite a few containers. And how do you get containers missing at the port? And you had a collaboration between customs, between national security, between freight forwarders. It was a whole cabal of all the people who were supposed to protect the state actually coming together and duping the state. And so they were arrested, and hopefully there will be prosecution. But we are now saying, well, from the end of this month, we want to implement a policy of no duty, no exit. So you can't move the container from one part to outside the port to another part. This is how the containers get stolen. You say, I'm moving it to this other part, and in the process of movement, it passes left and off it goes. So we are saying no duty, no exit. And so everybody, and we are being fought on this matter, by the way. Simple rule to say you pay your duty before you move in a container. It's not easy. A lot of containers are also being smuggled through transit. They tell you we are taking the container to Burkina or Niger and so on. So we are in the process of introducing, we've gone quite far, what we call the first port rule, which operates in Kenya. So we are working with the Burkina authorities, the Malian authorities, the Niger authorities, the Togolese authorities. So they will have their stations in Tema. So if you say you are going to Burkina, you just go to the desk, pay your duty, and off you go to Burkina. So if you go to Ashaman, it will not be our business. So the first port rule, we are now trying to integrate our systems between ours and Burkina in particular, who are working on what they call the Asikuda system, and we need to put those systems together. But we are very close to doing that. But with that system change, you are able to deal with corruption at a very basic level within a place like the port.